all you need to know, the Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business. Good morning. This is the daily morning update from Bloomberg Quint and I'm Alex Matthew. Today is the 14th of November. Commodities are in focus going into trade in India. Crude plunged overnight as investors sought to escape a market that's trapped between higher supplies and weakening demand outlook. Futures plunged 7.1% in New York on Tuesday for the biggest one-day drop in 3 years. OPEC's dire forecast for 2019 demand came at a time of steadily rising American production and stockpiles. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump's Twitter critique of Saudi Arabia's plan to curb output may dissuade other cartel members from similar moves, given the influence his past comments have had on OPEC actions. WTI crude at just under $56 to a barrel has fallen more than 20% from a 4-year high in early October. This morning, the commodity has halted its plunge, though. Brent stood at $65.69 to a barrel last I checked. White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow has said that the US and China have resumed contact at all levels over trade ahead of a planned meeting between Presidents Donald Trump and Xi Jinping. In other news, the UK and the European Union have agreed on a draft divorce deal. Now, Prime Minister Theresa May puts it to her cabinet, who have to decide whether to back it or resign. Negotiators have settled on a text after working through the night this week in Brussels. In news back home, the government will push for relaxing capital adequacy norms of Indian banks and align them with global practices, according to an official aware of the development. The government wants the Reserve Bank of India to bring down capital to risk-weighted assets ratio to 8% in line with Basel III norms from 9% currently. A discussion about this is expected to take place at the central bank's board meeting on the 19th of November. Operational creditors of insolvent Essar Steel have moved the National Company Law Tribunal, saying that the resolution plan accepted by the Committee of Creditors does not take their dues into consideration. In 2 separate petitions filed at the Ahmedabad bench of the NCLT, a total of 28 operational creditors have asked the tribunal to stay further resolution proceedings till their grievances are addressed. Zee Entertainment's promoters, the SL Group, plan to sell up to half of their shareholding in the company, which is India's largest broadcaster. The promoters have appointed Goldman Sachs as investment banker and US and Europe-based Liontree as an international strategic advisor for the stake sale. Flipkart Group Chief Executive Officer Binny Bansal quit following an investigation into alleged serious personal misconduct, even as he denied the allegation. In international equity markets, stocks in Asia had a muted open and US equity futures rose ahead of key data on China's economy following a topsy-turvy session for US shares that saw tech shares rally and energy shares slide. The S&P 500 and Dow ended lower by 0.1 and 0.4% respectively, while the Nasdaq ended more or less unchanged. In Asia this morning, the Nikkei was trading with minor gains, while markets in Australia and South Korea were lower last I checked. With that, it's now over to Darshan Mehta for the trade setup for the day in India. Good morning, Darshan. How's it looking today?
Hi Alex, good morning. Good morning everyone. Asian markets seem to be doing well. Crude is an important factor. Overnight crude was down almost 6.5%. It's down for the 6th straight session, and LME-based metals are stable at this point of time. In terms of numbers that are expected today, the last 2 of the Nifty companies, Grasim and Mahindra will report numbers today, but a whole host of mid-caps will report numbers, including Motherson Sumi, Page Industries, Rain Industries, United Breweries, Apollo Hospital, Pfizer, CESC, Future Retail, Gujarat Fluoro, Ipca Labs, Indian Hotels, Thermax, and Ujjivan Financial. In terms of numbers after market hours, Tata Steel, JSPL, Corporation Bank and MGL reported strong set of numbers. The weak numbers were reported by Sun Pharma, Ashok Leyland, Dilip Bilkon, Deepak Fertilizer, Novartis, Engineers India, Dalmia Bharat Sugar, AstraZeneca Pharma and Abbott India. Glenmark Pharma came out with numbers which met street estimates. In terms of other stocks that you need to watch out for Zee Entertainment, because the promoters have conveyed to the exchange that they look to sell 50% of their existing shareholding in the company to a strategic partner. So that will be important. Ashok Leyland's MD and CEO Vinod Dasari will resign from the company effective 31st March next year, and Dheeraj Hinduja will step into his position. Some news on PNB Housing Finance. Carlyle Group company QIH withdraws from the joint sale process in which the company, along with Punjab National Bank, were proposing to sell 51% stake in the housing finance entity. Carlyle's subsidiary has said that they will consider all options with respect to decreasing or increasing stake in the company, depending on the market conditions at a later stage. And Hindalco says Novelis will invest $175 million to expand aluminium production and recycling capabilities in Brazil. But there's much more you need to know before trade actually starts. For that, log on to our website bloombergquint.com and click on the All You Need to Know tab, and you'll be prepared for morning trade.
Thanks, Darshan. Well, that's all we have for you on this podcast, but there's a lot more on the website bloombergquint.com, so do check it out. This is Alex Matthews signing off. Have a fantastic day.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you can listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Paisa Vaisa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma, or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.